In a world of expensive LED lights, one man bought two different kinds of lights and made a video about them. So this is the KMTV Boltzen 30 watt. They also make a 55 watt version of this. And this is the Boltzen 60 watt. This guy's been out for a while now. People have done reviews of it, so you can go check that out. But this guy, we ordered this months ago. It finally came in this week. I think they had it designed, but they just hadn't started shipping it yet. So I wanted to compare the two different lights because they are from the same family, same company. But so the 55 watt version of this sells for about 330 bucks. This one at 60 watts, so 5 watts more, sells for 488. So 330 versus 488, that's a pretty big price difference for a light that should do very similar things. So let's look at some of the features of this one before we compare it to why this one is better, worse, we'll see. The build on this light is plastic. Almost entirely. The knobs are metal, some of the knobs at least. The barn doors are metal, but for the most part, it's just really nice, light plastic. The mechanism for focusing the Fresnel is simply just pulling the lens out and pulling it back on. That's how you focus it and widen it. It's a really simple mechanism. It's kind of cool. Now on this one, when you want to focus the mechanism, you've got a nice knob here. Comes in and out. Build-wise, almost this entire thing is made out of metal. Other than the knobs, yeah, it's pretty much it. The knobs are plastic, a little bit at the back here, but the main body of this thing is metal, and it's really nicely built. One thing that I really like about these is that you can unscrew the barn doors and put in a Bowens mount. Now, if you're a photographer, if you've ever used any photography equipment, you can get some amazing add-ons like you want to use a snoot, a beauty dish. You can add them to this kind of Boltzen. We got a couple of the Bowens mount adapters, but we only have one of these, so I don't know what we're supposed to do with them. They just gave it to us for free for waiting so long, I guess. This guy, though, what he does have is a little section here for drop-in filters, and just pull this tab up and you can just drop something in there. And that's cool. That's cool. Power-wise, you've got a plug here. Great thing about these guys, you can actually put a Sony NPF battery, just slide it right in there if this is not plugged in. That's awesome, because then you can run around with these things. It's probably going to get a little hot, but if you want to run around and pretend it's a laser cannon, I guess you could do that. These guys don't have that. They've got 4-pin XLR for the power, on-off switch. The dimmer actually goes down to 0, which I've never seen in an LED light before. Usually they go to like 10% or something. That's awesome. I think you can dim it all the way to 0 in a scene and have a light go out. That's kind of cool. So while this guy has the Sony NPF slot, this doesn't really have a battery power accessory. What you can do in this case is get a V-mount battery. There is a accessory that allows you to attach it to the light stand, and it comes with a 4-pin XLR to P-tap so that you can power it via V-mount battery. Is that enough letters for you? Is this an alphabet game? All right, so I've used this light on a couple of videos so far. It's a light. It shines brightly, like these lights that are shining brightly at me right now. What doesn't it do? Well, what it doesn't do is solve world hunger. It hasn't brokered a peace deal. But there are some problems with this. We got 5 of these. We opened 3 of them so far. One of them had a problem with this here, where just the build quality wasn't good. It was on a little crooked. Maybe that's just a fluke. What else is a problem? Well, let's talk about the case and everything that we got with it. So we got a couple of these drop-in filters. CTO, diffusion, different kinds of diffusion. So, bag's great, light's great. What's the problem? This is the problem. The light is not, the bag is not big enough to fit the light. The bag's just not big enough to fit the light. The bag's just not big enough to fit the light with this whole contraption on it. So if you were taking this from place to place, you would have to unscrew this. I know, it's taking long, but that's how this goes. One, two, oh, see, and I lost something already. So that's a kind of nitpicky thing to complain about because, I mean, the bag is really just like an extra add-on. So what I would say is that if you are going to get a couple of these and you want to bring them from set to set, you probably want to get a hard case or something else that you can tote them around in because these things aren't really the best for that. Other than that, pretty cool lights. I like them. You should like them too. They're nice. They're good build quality. Like, it really feels like something. This guy doesn't feel like anything, and that has its own advantages. But yeah, in a war, if I was going to war and I needed to bring lights with me, I would want this guy with me. Unless I was infantry and I needed to pack light, I would want this with me. And when I say pack light, I mean of low weight, not of... So that's some lights. If you need one, this one's expensive and heavy. This one's cheap and light. This one's gonna survive past the nuclear age. This one's gonna melt any day now. That's it.